Healthy intimacy and authentic connection really are some universal desires and longings. And in fact, I would even propose tonight that it is a human need. We have mounting social science and medical science research that shows that individuals in healthy, intimate relationships, namely marriage relationships, tend to be healthier and less prone to a whole host of diseases. They're happier and less prone to things like depression. They live longer, and they are also wealthier, which is an interesting thing to consider, when compared to single individuals, divorced individuals, or those who are in unhappy marriage relationships. So then learning what it takes to have a healthy, intimate, authentic connection with someone really is one of the most important areas of life work that we can engage in. Now I'm going to give some gems of hope throughout my talk, and I forgot to mention that most of my remarks will be directed towards the women, and Dan will be directing a lot of his comments to the men, but in a way that's kind of a comical format because we really believe that everything we have to share, we hope, will benefit everyone. But here's a piece of hope, a gem that I want everyone, especially if you're feeling lonely, to really grab on tonight and take home. Write it down, write it on your hand, write it on your forehead if you need to. Remember that there has never, ever been a better time in history to develop a healthy, intimate relationship. Now, some of you may not believe me if you're feeling lonely or going through a breakup or in the process of a divorce, but it really is true. We have never had so much in the way of resources, websites, classes, evenings like this, cultural openness, and research from a variety of fields to teach us and arm us and empower us, if we choose to learn and be open to it, as to what it takes to develop healthy connection in our lives. We also have an unprecedented means of meeting and connecting with new people if we choose to use technology in honest, responsible ways, and we'll talk more about that later. We also live in an era where men and women can form equal partnerships. It has not always been that way. And I'm so grateful I live in an era where that could be. Otherwise, I would have been a very lonely bird in past eras. On the flip side, we also live in a time where there have never been so many challenges to forming and maintaining intimate connection. For example, we live in a weakening culture of marriage. We live in a day and age where the expectations and demands that are placed on marriage are at an all-time high, while at the same time, the demands, the levels of commitment, and the willingness to make sacrifices for those relationships and lack of community around that marriage is at all-time lows relative to history. We are also bombarded by media messages that seem neurotically obsessed, I would even say pathological, in their obsession with recreational sex, casual relationships, cohabitation, dysfunction, infidelity, and competition. We also have technological means now that people can flirt with and engage in so many diverse ways of being unfaithful, cheating, lying, that those have been around for ages. But the means and the speed with which those can happen and the way they can be submerged and covered is really a new reality. And that's part of the reason why pornography and cybersex are such common issues facing